and welcome to another episode of A Golfer's Ramblings. I hope you are all well. Now then, I've recently been asked, what's better, the range or the golf course? I've always said the golf course, don't really like the range. However, my opinion's slightly changing, a little bit. So, I genuinely think more and more now with the introduction of Toptracer and Trackman ranges, that ranges are becoming a better place for training, improving your game. Now, I've always been of the thought that, and I've been quite open about this, I prefer practicing on the course because you can do more. And I still think that's the case. I still think the the course is a better place to practice than the range, depending on what you're practicing. So, if you've had lessons and you're ingraining mechanic changes, or you're changing things in your swing, then the drills your coach gives you, you obviously need to do them on the range. You can't stand on the course, just hit ball after ball after ball on one hole. It just doesn't work. So for ingraining swing changes, absolutely the range is the place for it. But for general practice and improving your golf, the course is the way to go. Now, with the introduction of Toptracer, Trackman, there are things on there. So you've got the skills games where you pick a target and you can earn points. You can play around the golf on there. So that does help to a degree. So with things like that, you're working on your target practice, your distance control, but you're always playing off a perfect lie. It's always perfect practice of range. It's very unlikely that your range is the type of range where you've got grass bays. If you've got grass bays, you're lucky. Not many places do. But even still, those grass bays, if you've got them, are going to be dead flat. So you're always off a flat lie. You're never going to get to a range where you can change your lie to an uphill lie, a downhill lie, ball above, ball below your feet. You're just not going to get that. So let's switch that to the course. Excuse me. When you're on the course, and this is generally what I do when I'm on the course, so if there's a part of my game that's lacking, so let's say at the minute I'm struggling out of bunkers, so I'll play my normal, I'll carry 2 balls, maybe 3, depending on how I'm feeling and how quiet the course is. I'll play the hole with my playing ball. I'll get to green side bunkers, I'll chuck the spare balls in the bunkers. The aim is obviously to get up and down and score some points. Let's say I'm struggling with my bumper runs from, I don't know, just off the fringe. Same thing, chuck a couple of balls down, got to get up and down. So you can give yourself situational situational practice while you're on the golf course, which you can't really do when you're on the range. Yes, you can have these games that they do where you get in the nearest the pin and whatnot, but because of the lies and the match you're playing off, they're not realistic. So, for example, I was playing the other night and just getting a little bit of chip in, and I just threw the balls down. You know what, that's where I'm going to play them from. One of them was in, literally, I was playing off mud. There was no grass. You're not going to get that lie on a range. You're not going to practice that shot on a range. So, by practicing on the course, I believe you become a more rounded golfer, because you're playing and practicing things you can't do on the range. Like, how many of us, when we're just playing a normal round, end up in the trees? How many of us then try and play a shot that we don't really practice because we're constantly on the range? Now, this is why I prefer course to range. And this is obviously easier depending on the time of year. So now, weather's great, finish work, do what I need to do, go play golf, go practice golf, whatever you want to call it. So I think even with the development of your Trackman ranges and your shot tracer ranges, your Toptracer ranges, I still think the course is the best place for it, because you're practicing all elements of the game. You're practicing things that you can't do on the course. I just think for becoming a better golfer, a more rounded golfer, the course is the way to go. Now again, like I said at the start, if you've got swing changes to to work on, and you've got drills you need to work on, the range is the place to go. So, for example, when I've had lessons and I've been given drills, I will then drill on the range, have a couple of range sessions and drill it in, and then I'll take that swing thought to the course and I'll implement it. The reason, and it may not be embedded into my mechanics at that point, and the reason this is good, or the reason I believe this is good in my opinion, that if you're taking a new swing to a course, or if you're practicing your new swing on the range, there's no penalisation if you get it wrong. So therefore there's no pressure, there's no driving factors for you to get it right quick. If you're on the course and you've got out of bounds left, you've got trees right, you've got a pond in front of you, you think, I need to hit these positions my coach is giving me or I'm in trouble. So there's that element of forcing or pressure, whatever you want to call it, to get those swing mechanics right. And I absolutely believe that helps you progress in those swing changes a lot quicker than if you were just to drill on the range. Don't get me wrong, I will drill on the range to a point, and then it's time to think, right, let's get on the course, let's bite the bullet, and let's just put it into play. Because ultimately, if you're not putting it into play, you're never going to know if it's working. I've played with golfers that have been, we've been playing golf, and wow, I thought you were changing your swing. That's an old swing. That's an old shot shape. That's not your new. Yeah, but it's not quite right. Yeah, I haven't quite got it there. Okay, so by using your old swing, you're putting all your practice on your new swing out the window. So you're on the range, you're drilling these new swing thoughts, and you get on the course and you do your old habits. It's going to take longer to ingrain your changes. So I absolutely believe drill on the range for a period of time, a short period of time. Well, that's my opinion. Get on the course, put it in live firing. That way you've got those consequences to make you think, right, I need to get this in play. I need to get these changes bedded in. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a nightmare. And you have to accept that when you're going through swing changes, you are going to have a few bad rounds while they bed in. Just accept it. And this is where the two sort of marry up. If you're drilling on the range and live firing those swing changes, your bad rounds, whilst those changes are going to happen, are going to be fewer and fewer. So I absolutely think there's a place for both. I still definitely think the course has the edge over the range, simply because, where on the range have you got everything you want to practice? You haven't. There's always an element that you can't practice at the range. Now, I'll talk to the two main ranges I use, so Stonebridge and Johnny Ray's. So Johnny Ray's is literally just bays, and I think they've got a bunker, but it's a really small bunker. So I can practice long game, I can practice my bunker play, some chipping to a degree, and that's that. Then if we go to Stonebridge, where I use, they've obviously got a range, so long game, chipping to a degree, and they've got a putting green, so I've got no short game practice. Then, to be fair, I could go the Forest of Arden and I can practice everything. I've got the bays, I've got the bunkers, and I've got the putting green. But realistically, if I go on the golf course, I've got everything at my disposal, every hole pretty much. Why would you not use that? So you're paying for your membership. You're going to pay for the range anyway when you're embedded swings, but why would you pay to practice things that you can get on the golf course as well? So if you're looking at the cost side of things, again, the course makes more sense if you remember. I just think you become a better golfer quicker by practicing on the course, and that's just my opinion. And I think that's where and obviously when the winter comes in, it becomes a little bit harder, obviously. But by the winter, you're realistically, you're at that point where you're probably going to start having lessons again, ready to embed your swing changes for the new season anyway. So this is where you put more range work in anyway. And then when you're playing on the weekend, when you can, live fire. So yeah, I definitely think 100% the course is the best place to improve and the best place for practice. Or that's what I found with my game. anyway, because like I say, there's more, what's the word, there's more consequences when things go wrong on the course. So let's use me as an example for the medal I've just played in. Whilst I wasn't practicing and I just had a bad day at the office, the consequences were I've had a stinker. A lot of that, wow, you know, I can't even put it down to what it was. It wasn't the fact I was hitting the ball badly, it wasn't the fact that I was embedding swing changes, it was just one of those days. But let's say I was practicing, I was embedding swing changes, the consequences would have been double bogeys, triple bogeys, lost balls. They're the consequences. So you, with those consequences in mind, you're going to force yourself to change quicker and improve quicker. So yeah, I absolutely believe that the golf course is 100% the best place to improve your game. Again, I'll go back to it, and I know I'm labouring the point. If you're embedding swing changing, you've got drills to do. Naturally, they need to be done on the range, not the course. You know, you can't do drills on the course. It's just not fair on the golf course, or the people playing behind you or with you. So yeah, that's my opinion on what's better. Hope that makes sense. Hope that's clear. Let me know what you think. Where do you prefer to do your practice? What's your practice look like? I mean, my sort of practice regime through the summer especially was I will avoid the range pretty much. I very rarely go to the range. It'll be a case of if the young one wants to go for golf lessons, has his golf lessons on Saturdays, I'll possibly go then. But that'll be it. I tend to avoid the range through the summer, get as much work as I can do on the course as possible. Then when the winter comes, probably a couple of times a week at the range, and then obviously ideally once a week at the course. So yeah, that's mine. What does your practice regime look like? Where do you prefer to practice? Where do you get your best results? Let me know. Guys, take care. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace.